So this video is about the agreement between Next Step Investments and Gordon Milligan of Millennial Construction. They were contracted on July 11th to complete a bunch of work at this house at 1535 Fifth Avenue in Freedom. The contract allowed for 30 days upon completion. Verbally, he said it would take about 2 weeks, but the contract said 30 days. Half of the deposit was put down on July 11th. On July 27th, things were moving along. I'll show you those completed projects. And he asked for half of the second half in advance to make payroll. That was not according to the contract, but I agreed due to the progress. In the meantime, I had asked him to bid on some additions that totaled a little over $5,000, I think $5,700 or so, and we signed that on July 30th. So within 3 days, I gave him close to $9,000. At that point, he started leaving this job site. It admitted to at least going to 3 other jobs in the last 3 weeks and not doing any work on this project. We exceeded the first 30-day contract, and the other one, most of that work wasn't even started. He had been keeping all his tools on the job site. He started not answering my texts, not taking my phone calls. I'd come down several times, he wasn't there. I would ask why, and he'd give several different excuses. And then when I came down last week and saw that everything was left and he had abandoned the job site, I questioned him, and he did not respond and kept ignoring me, which was out of context from how it initially started. Anyway, let's just walk through the house. So I contracted for these steps to be re-poured. There was 2 walls on each side that they took down. This was during the first week. These walls were structurally sound when they started. The walls to the steps were not. The back wall was. This is how they left it with the 2x4. He came over yesterday to get some tools he left outside and removed this board and put it on the ground. So this is how he's left the steps since that second week in July. If you look at the yard, he's left debris piles everywhere. As we enter the foyer, contracted to re-drywall the ceiling, and the first couple coats are on, but as you can see, the work is not finished. This room up here is where they kept all their tools, and we contracted to patch a small area in the drywall. This is how this was left. The contract said everything was to be of quality workmanship within standards of the industry. He charged me $300 to fix this screen door and put this new lock on. The lock was not put on. Pieces are laying here. We've been using this board to secure the space. Had him redo the porch, which he did complete. This is one of the 3 jobs that were completed, this porch. I also contracted with him to do this ceiling of the porch, and when I was here the other day, it was making noise. And as you can see, the ceiling is not screwed down, and the wind was blowing it. This porch was done in the first week. This wall was done, and I'm satisfied with this work. And on the other side of this room, they patched the wall on the outside. And after those three things were done, that's when he asked for the extra money in advance. One of the additions that we were going to do was to add a half bath. He had texted me a week ago and said it was ready for the floor. I don't know if you can see. It is not finished. And I said, once you get the work finished, the wall's finished, then I will come and put the floor. Nobody puts the floor in before the walls are complete. Contracted to patch these holes in the drywall. You can see there's a coat on them. It's not blended or anything. Had him put this exterior door on, and this is how he left it finished. It's not finished. And I had him do some doors, 2 doors at another place, and this is how he left the job, and they weren't even square. But that's another story. On the second floor, he was contracted to install 6 new interior doors. He removed all the doors that were here, and these doors obviously are not installed. Been sitting here for about a month. He was contracted to replace 2 windows, which he did. Those are complete. One thing was to redo the porch roof. That's what you're looking at here. And put new gutters on. Once we finish the 3rd floor, I'll show you how the gutters were not installed properly. And the last section of the house on the 3rd floor, the original contract was to tape and mud 1 coat of the drywall. I was not going to finish this room, but this is how their 1 coat looks. I don't think this is what you would call construction standards. And then in the second one, we agreed to take this room to finish it, build a closet, finish it, to make it a 4th bedroom. They started putting drywall up in some spots. They taped some spots, but not other spots. And they didn't finish all the patching. So I'll take you down, show you the gutters, and stop the film. See, they didn't put the drywall around these windows yet. All that was on the original bid dated July 11th. Today is August 30th. When it rains, the gutters don't work. You can see it rained yesterday. And the porch is wet. And from here, if you look up, you can see the edge of the gutters and the end of the roof. The gutters are supposed to be out from the roof. And I'm not sure if you can tell from the video, but the gutters were not put on properly. Those gutter hangers have bent the drip edge, and they don't work. When it's raining and you stand here, the water just pours off the roof. I believe that covers everything.